Bonjour, mon ami, c'est les argent. And lately the media has been in a complete uproar, this big firestorm over the whole ordeal with Jay-Z and Beyonce's sister Solange. Which, by the way, that's one thing about this news story that I have to keep that made me remind me of the fact that, yeah, Beyonce does have a sister. She's not bad looking, and in terms of her singing, she doesn't sound bad. She actually has a good voice, but I have to go, oh yeah, she does have a sister. But, when I first found out about this whole ordeal, I was like, okay, I gotta see the video, but the video has no audio. I'm like, okay, well, there's nothing that could have possibly have been said that was that big of a deal. Now, there's speculation that he quote-unquote name-dropped and whatnot, but we don't really know. So without the audio, we're pretty much back to where we first were in terms of the speculation aspect of it. Without answers, just a bunch of theories. Another thing to note is that the fact that Jay-Z did not fight back at all. I mean, he held her back and, kind of blocked, but he didn't swing back or retaliate. Whether you're into hitting women and whatnot, I'm not. So, I wouldn't have been on his side, but, even still, it was kind of hilarious, at least the way it appeared. He was standing in that elevator like he was filming for his Excuse Me video.
Can't roll up to this one, boy. You're so contagious, I can't take it. Help my baby, let's just make it. Excuse me, what's your name? Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be rolling with Jason. Jason. Lady, what's your name? Cause I see
standing stationary like a soldier. I mean, it was smart that he didn't swing back though, because that not only would have meant that, yeah, you ain't rapping ever again, but I'm willing to bet that a lot of sponsors would have just dropped his ass, similar to how they did with Tiger Woods when they found out that he was this bona fide pimp player, and all these sponsors basically just cut him loose. I mean, it makes you wonder though, what could they have been fighting about? Magna Carta Holy Grail couldn't have been that bad of an album. In all fairness though, it wasn't the worst rap album I've ever heard. It's definitely the worst Jay-Z album I've ever heard, though. But that doesn't mean... I give him respect that he did try something different, and the whole album wasn't completely terrible. But overall, I didn't really care for it. But, it'd be some ironic shit if that's what they really were talking about. But let's keep it real. They probably weren't talking about that. But regardless, at the end of the day, really... whatever was being discussed to cause them to have this engagement and this disagreement on camera, hopefully this levels out the fact that, these demigods and these iconoclasts and these celebrities, mainly Jay-Z and Beyonce, as far as this topic is concerned, shows that, yeah, they're, at the end of the day, just human beings, just like us. They're not perfect. They have their faults and failings and put their pants on one leg at a time. And they're nothing more special than they already were. It's not to take anything from them or any credit from them. But, I don't like the idea of worshiping celebrities just because of what they do. I like the fact that they do what they do, or I don't. It's simply as put as that. But for people that were asleep to the idea of this, hopefully this wakes you up now. Now that they've got actual dirt on it, I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy that they have dirt on them, because this barely qualifies as dirt. And even with the audio, who cares? I may have said my piece about Donald Sterling, but that was a whole nother aspect. And I find it funny that they choose to take this and blow it way out of proportion, as opposed to, the whole Nigerian thing going on with all those girls kidnapped. It took the news 2 weeks to find out about that news story, despite the fact that everyone on the internet kind of knew in advance. And that's not really... it's covered, but not as much as I think it should. I don't really watch the news anymore, so I can't really give too much commentary on that. But like I said before, it's almost like these news stories with celebrities are almost like on a schedule. Like when they run out of things to talk about, like, okay, well, here's what we got: one last distraction. Until next month, then we won't be able to cover anything more on Justin Bieber. We won't be able to cover anything more on the typical races or our favorite monster for the day or whatnot. So we'll cover someone who hasn't been in the media firestorm because we don't have many movies to talk about. We don't have many celebrities that have lost their mind lately. And everyone that we used to cover is either died or moved on, or we've pretty much called it a dead case. So, yeah, this isn't any different than the rest of them, in my opinion. It's a coincidence, and, maybe it is just a coincidence. But am I the only one that finds this a little strange that it happens in this manner? If anything does come out of this, don't expect anything significant. I won't say I'd like to be surprised, but until we get anything else, let's move on to actual news. You motherfuckers make me sick. The fact that they even consider this to be news, and the fact that anyone even responds to this in the way that they do is fucking sad and astounding. I have a better suggestion. I'm gonna go play Ground Zero on my PS4 for the 5th time. Deuces, motherfuckers.